Waited.
Okay,
All
so
right.
I don't know if you've ever had a relationship where it would suck the living daylights out of you when it ended. But I know it's one of my most popular questions is I can't quit thinking of somebody, or how do I move on?
Well,
Do you
you're
ever
gonna
get that
think.
question?
Well, you're gonna think about them. You're gonna think about them a lot, and it's gonna hurt a lot. But you have to remember, and you have to remember to tell yourself this, and that you're not gonna feel, you're not always going to feel that bad. Every day is going to get a little bit better, and I recommend that you just start doing more activities, that take your mind off of this person. And if it really looks like it's a permanent breakup, you know, I'd say do some spring cleaning. Might help to clean your house. They say that a lot of the dust in your house is mostly from people that spend a lot of time there. So if you have an ex, I recommend do some spring cleaning and get rid of their danders so that you're not always smelling them and remind. Well,
Get rid of their
it's
hair follicles. Get out of there,
well,
rid of their
the
skin
thing is,
follicles.
yeah. Well, I'm not saying trash everything. I'm saying, well, start with cleaning up the place a bit and just take it from there, and try to do fun things, even reconnect with some friends that usually you could have a good time with, or it doesn't hurt to communicate with family or siblings or people that you used to talk to more often. Kind of resume some friendships. That helps a lot. you know
I also try
that's
to
what I
remind
recommend.
people
Yeah. Yeah.
that love is a cigarette. I
It
mean,
is.
love is like it's an addiction. You get
Okay.
very addicted to somebody, and the withdrawals from leaving that relationship
Well,
are
yeah.
tough. They're very tough. But
Hmm.
if you can't try some of those things like cleaning the house or moving on, think getting somebody's I always say the word no every time that name comes to your head, because there's it's funny when you're with somebody that has broken up with someone. They always want to talk about it, always. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know
Yeah.
and I've been there too, where you feel like if I could just find a way to slip their name into this conversation, or if I could just find a way to get information on this person. But anyway, here's a small little article, and I won't read the whole thing. It's listed on our blog today. It says
Okay.
nothing can keep you from a happier future than a lingering relationship wound. We've all been there, experiencing good love gone bad. And it doesn't really matter whether that was right or who was wrong, because the bottom line is that it hurts and that the pain is preventing you from moving forward.
Yeah.
While time is the best near healer, there are 5 steps you can take that will speed up the process. And
Only
actually, I
five.
really don't think speed up the process is the word. I think it's
Hmm.
discipline. You have to discipline yourself to
Or start a
utilize.
process going.
Right, right. So the
Maybe
first
that's
one,
what
it
they.
says cut off all contact. Cut off all contact. Do this at least for a little while. No, you do
Okay.
not need to be friends.
No,
Keeping
you
an
don't
ex,
have to.
keeping an ex in your life is not a sign of maturity.
Mm-mm.
Keeping someone as a friend is not important compared to take care of you and
Mm-mm.
your emotional well-being. Many people hang on to the idea of friendship with an ex as a way to keep the possibility of something happening later, or maybe depending on the circumstances, a friendship may eventually be possible. But being friends once you've had those feelings, it's very hard not to let them happen again.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I understand that. I certainly don't think it's a good idea to keep an ex involved in your life unless unless there are children between you and you are both acting as parents. You have to come together and work as a team because you are parents. But if you're not connected, like legally, or there's no kids or anything like that, if it's just if it's, say, if you didn't get married, you didn't get that far. I would say, yeah, I cut off the contact at least. I would say you don't have to be unfriendly, but you don't have to be friends. You
Right.
could be civil. You could be, hey, it didn't work. It didn't work. That's all there is to it. I mean, the person who broke up with you is probably doing you a favor because it was going to happen. It's not like it's, if you're not right for them, then they're obviously not right for you. So why
And
waste
it's and
time on
here
it?
this part of the article says, if you
Right,
must remain in contact because of children or other shared obligations such as a dog,
right.
know that there is
Well,
a
yeah,
distinct difference between being friendly and being
right,
friends. True
right,
friendship means two people care about each other's well being and have
right.
one another's best interest at heart.
Yeah,
By the time many relationships end, they don't give a damn, and
yeah.
and so the support is not there, but the expectation that someone treats you well while you are together, will be capable of being a true friend afterwards, sets you up to continue being
Uh,
hurt. Because in I know that this isn't probably how you think, anybody that's listening, but there is a certain amount of manipulation in staying friends,
mhm,
because with that means the ability to accept that somebody may bring their girlfriend or boyfriend over to meet you.
right.
And you have to have the ability to move on and say, oh, shit, well, I didn't plan on that happening. So,
Well, there have been quite a few movies made about that during a certain time period where people thought, oh, how with it. He's friends with his ex wife and he's getting married to somebody new and he wants them all to be friends. And of course, the whole thing blows up in everyone's face. It's not going to, it's not natural. It's just not. I mean, there's always an exception where it works, but I'd say I'd stay away from that. There's just certain things that you don't have to do, and unless there's children involved or shared obligations, I would say you're wasting your time. I mean, this person, you're just wasting your time, and this way too. Cutting off the contact for the friendly hangouts. No hanging out. No doing things as friends. No, no. I would say no. Um, don't do that.
you know what's really crazy? I have had
Yeah.
people call me that say, "Well, we share the responsibility for the children, and therefore I always let them stay in my house and sleep there during their visits." And I'm thinking, no, 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 no. That's nice of you to do, but you're setting yourself up. You know,
I would say that the intentions are probably always very good, but I just don't think any of it's a good idea.
no. No. The other one it says is let go of the fantasy. Many people don't realize that a large majority of the pain they experience during a breakup has nothing to do with the relationship they really had. Relationships always end for a reason. Are you bored?
No, I'm sorry. It's the sleep. It's either a lack of water or lack of something. I don't know.
Yeah, it is rarely a complete surprise because things It is
I didn't mean
rarely
to
a com
yawn at you. I just didn't want my big mouth opening wide and doing that. I had to cover that up.
Anyway, it
But no,
says it's really a complete surprise because things generally haven't been going well for a while. And there's often a long list of what each person hates about each other and what led them to fighting all the
uh,
time and getting their feelings hurt. But most people don't want back the relationships they
right.
actually had. What they mourn for is the history of when they did get along. So they
Uh-huh.
forget about all of the mess ups and all of the stuff that got them screwed up in the
Well,
process.
you if it's happened before, or if a person shares the experiences with other people that they know, they might get some insight like, why is he, she always like very critical about everything lately?
Mhm.
And either not in the mood, not feeling good, in a grumpy mood, or work sucks, or something else, something big, something taking up their time, and they're always mood and they're just not fun anymore. And actually, what that's about is it's like they're saying, break up with me. Um, a lot of men do that. Maybe not a lot, but my sister once knew somebody that she liked a lot, and it seemed like things were going really well for about 6 months. It was someone she was dating, and then he just started getting like really just tired, grumpy, and stomping around like a bear, and just nothing being right. And that's a sign that there's probably already somebody else.
Well, I would say that
And
that
they're
it can
making
also
themselves,
indicate that
well,
I
there are
also
some
believe
people
that
that will not break up with people. They make other people break up with them by
uh-huh,
becoming impossible, because they
uh-huh,
cannot break up with them. It's no, no, I'm not breaking up with you, you're going to break up with me, so I don't feel so bad. I get dumped.
uh-huh.
You see, some people do that. It's really weird, but they do that. And you could tell that the signs are that they just become total jerks, you know, where
Makes sense.
they get to the point where you just can't stand to be around them. And I knew two people once that were both trying the same game on each other, and I just thought, oh my god, you're both driving me insane. You both hate each other, and neither one of you is going to break up. This is just going to go
Wow.
on and on and on. Oh my god.
Well, but I also think that in a lot of relationships, for the first honeymoon stage, everybody's on their best behavior.
Well, that's
But then,
different, though. I mean, because
yeah,
everyone's trying to be cool, and then once you're living with somebody, and then you
it's
start to see that,
game
oh my
over.
God, they're animals. They're just animals, and then of course, then they get to see the other person too. It's not just a one-sided thing. It just seems like it. Okay,
All of
but
a sudden, the person's
but
really
then
cool,
it's when you
close.
stop being prim and you stop being polite and you stop being like modest, you know, and you stop being graceful and you just become people. you know that's different. That's different. That's like reality. That does not mean that that person is no longer appealing. They just don't seem to have that mystery about them anymore. But then when somebody starts to turn the other way, where it's just they're always in a rotten mood and you can't do anything about it, that's when it doesn't get any better. And that's the same kind of thing that happens at work. I mean,
Yes. Isn't that
well,
true?
once the
Everybody starts out
process
liking each other until
starts,
they get
well,
real.
thing is, it doesn't matter what you've done. Once the process is started, it's over. And
Mhm.
usually, um, it's just not always, but most of the time, I'd say it's more like about. I'd say from what I've seen, about 90% of the time, it started. You can feel it. You can feel it, and sometimes you can turn it around. I say give it a shot. But it's really best just to, like I said, boy, this person is becoming really nasty. That's what they want you to do. They want you to break up with them. Isn't that something?
It says almost all relationships are great in the beginning. Otherwise they would have never started.
Oh yeah.
But the whole of a relationship is what it was from beginning to end. And because our mind is trying to heal our heart, the painful memories often get shifted to the background and we find ourselves remembering only the good stuff. And that's why the
We get
strategy.
nostalgic.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
so
we get
it's so
nostalgic.
so here's number 3. It says, make peace with the past. When someone treats you bad or does something hurtful, it is natural and a healthy response to feel anger. Anger helps you to be aware of situations that are not in your best interest and can facilitate the separation process from an unhealthy relationship. But when we hold on to the anger, and resentment from the past experience, we take them with us into the future. And boy, is that true. And it says nothing hurts more than when someone you love does something that causes you to reevaluate who you believed them to be. And when someone betrays that trust you gave, it is very painful. But letting what someone else did hold on to such hatred and such anger that it causes you to never forget them. It's about emotional freedom. You have to free yourself of the past. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, I agree. Uh, you can't move on to the future if you're just carrying all this baggage from stuff that's from days gone by. It's all gone. It's finished. Um, I I got a disturbing email from one of my siblings, my brothers and sisters. I found out that the family house that we all grew up in was torn down.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, I mean, well, they talk about being told to let go by the universe.
Oh
I mean, there is
my.
there is nothing left. I mean, I couldn't believe the photograph I saw. There isn't a lawn. There's no sidewalk. There was a basement, but there's not anymore. I mean, I don't know what they did. There is nothing. Nothing, absolutely no sign that anything was ever there other than the chain link fence that was in front. But everything else, all the landscaping, all the plants, all the bushes, shrubs,
Ow.
just everything completely gone. And I'm looking at this going, wow, well, I guess that's that. This was something that, well, you have to let go of this, even though I know that my parents put whole lives working on this house and put a lot of work into it.
At
It was it
least they
was
could have
it
told
was
you some.
built well, yeah, it was built around 1900. I mean, we hadn't lived in it in some time, because when we grew up, we all moved out. But my parents lived in it until their final days, and they hadn't lived in it, and that was like 17 years ago already. But it's so talk about being forced to move on. You do have to let go of this. And one of the things that we decided was that it's not really the house. The house itself, it served its purpose, but what made it unique was the family that lived in there. And just like there was a family in there before us that was large, like my own family was, and that's why my mother liked the house. But it is a shock to see that we all thought about a great deal over the years, and it's very. You see it in all the old photos. It's always there, and everything there is gone, completely gone. It just looks like a parking lot, like a dirt parking lot. I don't know how they did it.
Wow.
It's like they just took some big plows and just went. Yeah, I don't know.
So
But
Joseph,
talk about. So you have to
who
just leave. You have to let that go because it's gone. And like the past, it is gone. And it looks like it was never there.
And
you know.
people do that all the time.
Yeah.
People become married to property. I remember my
Yeah.
mother's. It's like me, I learned to be in gardening and things from her. And she spent all her lifeblood making this wonderful Shangri-La, and when it went to the next person, she thought, surely the next person that buys this property will want it for the same reasons and love and cherish my gardens. It was a single guy with one kid. And he gave
Yeah.
all the plants away to the neighbors and put concrete on it so
Oh,
he could make
yeah,
it a
absolutely.
playground.
And it happens
Then
all the time. But at least he didn't tear down the entire house and make it look like it was never
no.
there to start with. So, do we have anyone waiting for?
Joseph, did somebody buy that house? Is that why they
Well,
did that, or
we
what
don't know what
happened?
we don't know what happened to it. Actually, we did see that the house was for sale for a very low price, and we didn't really have. And then we saw that. Then about a month later, all of a sudden, it was raised like three times as much. Like woof! Someone raised the. It was just incredible what they were asking for it. And then just recently, now they're only asking for a little bit because there's nothing on the property. So I don't know what happened.
It
Um,
makes no sense. It's like, so now all they're selling is the lot. Is that right?
that's yeah, and it doesn't cost very much because it's less than a quarter of a acre, you know.
Maybe you should buy
So,
it and build a cabin on it.
well, no, I don't want to live in that town. Yeah,
Oh.
I grew up in there, and actually, I never wanted to own my parents' house, really.
So it says learning to forgive and make peace with things that happened in the past can happen more easily when you take your focus off the specific events that occurred and instead try to see the perspective of the people involved. Most people don't act out with the intention of directly hurting somebody, but the feeling is that sometimes, guys, shit happens, right? So that's number three is let go of the past. Number four, no, it's okay to still love them. I'm going to tell you a secret. Almost every married person, we would love to say every married person completely forgets about all the people that they used to love. But there's always a fish that got away. Most mature people learn to just accept it, and they get married and you get married, or they move on with your life and you move on with your life, and you don't hang on to the oh my god, I'm going to wait until they're single again. So the feeling is that no, it's okay to still love someone. Love is never wrong. But when someone comes into your life who allows you the opportunity to experience love, that is always a true gift. Part of maturity, however, is recognizing that love by itself isn't always enough to make a relationship work. There's a lot of people out there that love crappy. they, there are
Well,
people, and you
you
download.
know, you can love a lot of people, but not all of them are going to be appropriate for all of you know the right one. You know,
Right,
it's all right.
and
It's
also
all right to be capable of, yeah, because there's, I mean, there's people that yeah, you're right. Love is not enough because, like I said, you can love quite a few people, but sometimes the people that you love, it's not the person, they're not good for a relationship, you know.
right, and
So,
the main thing is that,
mm,
um, like I was saying, you can love someone very much that you're married to or that you're in a relationship to, but still have a fondness for someone from your past.
oh, sure.
It may never go away, but that doesn't mean that you have to wait with bated
Well,
breath, waiting for
it
them
gives
to be.
you the fond memories, and then just accept
Yeah.
that, and you're with somebody else now. That's all, and you've made a decision, and right.
So moving on from a relationship that isn't working isn't always about ending the love you feel.
Right,
Sometimes the only way to let go is to love someone enough to want the best for them, even if that means not being together. So, that's step number 4. And I think we've got one more, and it says, love yourself more. Love yourself more.
oh,
Ultimately, moving on from a relationship that wasn't working is about loving yourself. And for some, this is the hardest part, believing that you deserve to be in a loving relationship with someone, or maybe to just love yourself enough to not need a relationship. That's
right,
okay. And you
right,
need to enlist the help of a professional if you can't
mm,
do it, because
right.
you've got deeper problems if you can't. So
Well,
don't
some
think it's bad
people,
to go to counseling.
yeah, some people really they just go from one person to another. They're not ever single for more than about a week or less because they just can't stand it. And it's like boom, there's somebody else. And yeah, and it's really funny what people do. I've seen people like boom, there's somebody else, and boom, they're moving in. It's like, oh, why? Because then it's all gonna
What did
blow
you?
up, and there's this person living there. I say, oh my, don't do that unless you're making a commitment. Like don't do that. Don't change your. I have known people who have changed everything, their goals. They dropped their goals. They had put so much time into goals. They were putting into college, and they even moved. They left a great place because of a promise of love. And it's like never make those big sacrifices like that. Because this, not unless you're both making the sacrifices for each other. But I know certain people, and I think usually it's Tauruses, they usually throw everything. It's like the earth signs tend to be more prone to
That's my
making
moon
these
sign.
huge,
That's my moon
yeah,
sign.
huge sacrifices, and then it blows up in their face, and then they're left twisting in the wind. And I've always figured, no, hang on to your identity, and there's no reason why you should be changing your goals and or dropping your skills, like say, giving up the piano. There's no reason why you should be doing that. Why you should have to make so many changes in order to accommodate another person.
Because sooner or
It's very
later, time will go
one-sided.
by and everything you worked for will be gone. And you won't be able to
Mm-hmm.
make it up. And you stop
Right.
just because somebody loved you, wanted to
Right. Well,
accommodate somebody else in
yeah.
your
You
life.
just never know. You never know. And the thing is, you have to have this foundation for yourself so that you can always count on yourself. You never want to be so dependent upon another person that if something should even happen to them, and there you are, you're like, what do I do? Because you hadn't been working on anything other than
Right.
pleasing somebody. You really have to have, in order to make it work, in order for both of you to survive, you both have to maintain your goals and you both have to achieve them, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And
yeah.
and and you know what? I have known people that loved someone because they expressed a side of themselves they wish they had. But once they own that person, then all of a sudden all they want to do is take it away. So that
Mm.
is something that I think
Yeah.
a lot of people face once they get in a relationship. But the main thing is that, as I said, love is a cigarette, or love is like, you know it's an addiction. And a funny thing happens. You may say the name of someone over and over and over and over in your head until it freaking bores you to death. One day you wake up and it's like a rock star poster that lost all its luster. You just wake up and it's like, oh,
Oh, and
wow.
how about then after that, you meet somebody with the exact first name? It's like,
Oh,
no,
this
not another one
happens
of
all the time.
those.
went through a Bob stage where everyone I met for 4 in a row was Bob, and they all had dark hair and
There's
they all
something
had
about
beards.
that. Well, it's actually I've heard that before. It's always usually it's usually someone named Bob. I don't know what it is about the name Bob.
I
Maybe it's
don't
because
know.
isn't that a palindrome? Because you can't really say it backwards. It's the same as it is forward, as it is backward.
Oh,
Bob,
no, I never
B-O-B.
thought of that.
And aren't those like anyone that has a name that's like say Anna?
And,
ANNA. It's that's isn't that a
yeah,
palindrome?
yeah.
Yeah. Another person that might be a problem or difficult. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of magic or energy to it where, you have to be really careful with it because it's
The
firing out at
names,
this.
the
Yeah.
okay. We have, Jan, and, she says, "Hi, Joseph and Anne-Marie. Could I have
Hi,
a reading in general?" So just a
general
reading in general.
general.
And Jan is from LA.
Oh, LA. That sounds hot.
In many
Because
ways.
it's 83 where I am, and so that's pretty
Oh, yeah,
hot.
mine too. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm seeing at the current time we have the Four of Cups, and that says that it seems like you might be kind of restless right now. It's kind of like a chronic thing. No, it could be that it could be that this is caused by an overindulgence of like say comfort things, comfort food, or maybe perhaps partying, just to take your mind off things. That could actually have an adverse effect. So if you are doing that, it's like, okay, lighten up on it. Actually, it's because you're trying to make up for something. And what the cards are saying though is that actually this is a very good time to start new projects, and you would do better to do that, and then use your moderation. You know, I get the feeling that maybe you're a little bit bored, and you're doing something. Like say I don't want to insinuate people have bad habits, but sometimes maybe there's another thing that you're doing, like collecting things,
Collecting
or
things.
yeah, like collecting. Like say. All the Maryland memorabilia,
Oh,
and you
oh,
just can't
like me and old
stop.
hippie
You
bags.
know, it's like okay, it's time to move on from this. It's time to like okay, cool it with the addictions, whether it's behavior or something else. But actually, you're you're being encouraged to start new projects, and actually that will make you feel better. And I do see that. You know, you can save yourself a bit of frustration, I think, by adapting, by trying something new and spending some time learning something new. Um, I do see that that's the best thing you should do because really to if you continue to just like say while away the time on these things that take your mind off of issues that you need to be looking at, they're never going to get any better that way, and you're just going to find yourself feeling more empty. So at the same time, like I said, the good part of it is they say but if you do something new, start a new project, it's a very good time for it, and it will be successful. I am seeing in the past, you've had relatively good luck in the past regarding monetary matters, you know. And what I'm seeing at the current time is that maybe the emptiness is because you don't have enough love, or you feel you don't have enough love in your life, or maybe you don't feel connected. The new project might help because it might put you in contact with somebody new and create new experiences for you. Or the new project can take something stale and get you both. If you're currently with somebody, it would both give you both something to do, and it will help the situation. I see that working out well then, if you do that. What do
Okay.
you think, Anne Marie?
It says Jan suffers from a phobia of staying on track with the things that she truly wants to do, which says that she gets scared about her life getting stagnant. She starts getting ambitious, and this is what it says, Jan, that you get ambitious and you go into overdrive. And then all of a sudden, somewhere along the way, tension hits or fear hits. And then all of a sudden, boom, you stop or you go backwards because you lose your nerve. But then when it happens, you go back into overdrive again. So it says, understand that you just need to stop fearing your own ambition level. If you want to do something, if you want to go on a vacation, if you want to see a friend, if you want love, whatever it is, the most important thing you can do is stay on track. Don't give up. Don't allow yourself to stop and run and stop. You need to stay focused. If I look at real quick on what comes through also on this, here's the angels that surround you for 2012 or 12. Where am I? 2008, 17 and 18.
Time machine.
Okay, it says hello from heaven. There's a person that has passed on that wants you to know that they are surrounding you. They have not forgotten you, and their energy is all around you. So they say hello, but sometimes feel that you are not necessarily trusting that you're hearing or feeling the energy of a loved one that's moved on. The next one that comes up is chakra clearing. And your reading says it's really important to clear your space, clear the clutter, clear your own energy so that when you want to do something, Jan, you won't self-sabotage yourself by becoming afraid. Here's something that I don't know how to take this, Jan, but it says either you are a natural counselor, you are someone that people want to go to tell all their problems to. But it may be that one of the things you're facing is this stop and go, ambitious fear, ambitious then fear, meaning the counselor may need some counseling. So you may find you're in a time where you could use some counseling. The next thing I see is that relationship harmony seems to be in store for you. It seems that anybody that is around work or family seems to be taking a high note. And the last one I see is passion. It says, trust and follow your passions this year. You're going to find that if you have a hard time with staying on track, get some counseling or try to find a way to stop giving everybody advice and start figuring out it's time to work on you. And that's what I have.
So, what do you think of that?
She can't tell us because she's
I don't know.
what did you say? What do you mean by that?
Oh, what? What do
What?
you think of that?
Yeah. What do you think of that? The counselor
Oh,
needing some counseling?
no, no. I was asking Jan what she
Oh,
thought of
Jan,
all
yeah. Yeah,
that.
she's in quick, so she can't tell us.
Oh, wow, I
But
see. Okay.
yeah.
So now who's next?
We have a very quiet room today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, do
So
you
the main
have,
thing,
okay, let's see. What shall we talk about?
we have 6 minutes.
uh,
How about end of summer Uh,
Oh, wait. You know what? You did ask for a recipe, and I made stuffed
yes.
zucchini the other day. And actually, I treated it like it was pizza bread because we got some really big, long zucchini that are almost as big as a French loaf of bread. It happens that sometimes you don't see them, and it's like some alligator hiding under all the debris. And I love zucchini, but boy, when they get big like this, and what you do is you peel them and you halve them. You come half down a long ways, and then you try to get rid of some of those seeds. You scoop out some of those seeds because when they get large, they get seedy, and you don't want to be eating those. And so scrape them out, and then put pizza filling like sauce or sausage, some sautéed
So
things
you're
like mushrooms.
let me get this right. You're scooping out the
Yeah.
zucchini and
Well,
you're
not
filling
all
it,
of it, just the center that's full of seeds. You want to keep all the meat.
and
You
then you're
peel
filling
it.
that with pizza dough.
Right. It's like you're making it like a no, no, not dough. You're treating the
Oh,
bread as you're treating the zucchini as though it were pizza bread. You're
oh,
treating it like it's a French loaf, and you're putting your
okay.
pizza topping on top of it. And then, since everything should be sautéed, when you put it on there, and you want to bake that so that your zucchini is nice and soft. It'll be a little bit firm, but it'll be still be cooked. And it's very good. You put cheese on it and all that. It's like a little pizza bread, but there's no carb. It's very low carb. There's no wheat, there's no bread, there's no so if you have a wheat allergy, that's one solution. You could have pizza with a zucchini crust. How's that sound?
So do you bake it
Yeah,
then?
but I
Do
do.
you?
Yeah, you bake it. You could give it a little bit of a broil, depending on what you've done to it first. It depends on how raw everything is. But there's a recipe that I sent to you, so you can post it. It's one of the ideas.
Okay.
It's called zucchini pizza slices or zucchini pizza bread. In quotes, because it's not really bread. It's zucchini. But I have used zucchini slices to substitute a layer of pasta when I make lasagna. To make it a lower carbohydrate. The center pasta gets replaced with um, a whole row of zucchini slices that are thin, and
Nice.
so yeah, there's different ways you could use it. And plus, I use zucchini in stir fry a lot because we've had a lot of zucchini. We've had a lot of snow peas lately, and I've been growing bean sprouts in the kitchen. So
Oh,
it's really
wow. Good
great.
for
Yes.
you.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of Oriental styled things,
Well,
sort of just,
that's gonna work
yeah,
really well for next week's show, Joseph, because
yeah.
next week's show is advertised as tips for farmers market. What to do,
Oh,
what to look for, what to take with you to collect your vegetables, how to pay, things like that. And also, you can save some of those stir fry recipes for next week too.
mm-hmm. Well, it's all very easy. It's actually just my stir fry changes all the time because I throw in whatever I have. And basically you're making a mixed vegetable and you're toasting everything with hot oil, is what it is, and it's
Do
very good. And
do
you
you use a
serve it with
wok?
rice, and yeah, I should be. I There's one around here somewhere, but it's not unpacked. And so actually, I've been doing all this stir fry in some very large flat pans. You want to have a lot of space, uh, otherwise
Do
everything
you
gets
serve it with
mushy.
rice or not? Do you serve it with
Pardon?
rice or not? Do you serve it with rice?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Either
And what kind of rice?
I like wild rice or brown
Uh,
rice. Yeah, I like the wild rice blends. You know. Um, And there's different meat dishes you could make too to go with it, like a chop suey of some kind,
Mhm.
chicken or beef or pork, whatever you want, or vegetarian.
Sounds good.
So, oh yeah, but it's very it's very satisfying to just go into your own garden, pick a bunch of this stuff, and not have to go to the store. And it's not a very large garden; it's only about 6 feet by 6 feet. It's a square, and it's a patch. We also have tomatoes. We had broccoli, but it bolted because of the heat. So
Oh,
we
it
had a
always bolts for
wonderful
me.
variety of lettuce. We had a wonderful variety of all these different kinds of colored lettuces. It was just beautiful. And we had spinach. But you could only eat it so fast. And if you pick it all, it's not going to last. You can't cook it. You can't put it up. It's
That's why I only
it,
have
it
2
was handy.
tomatoes and 2 green pepper plants.
Well, it was very
We only
handy
have
just to walk
26 seconds
outside
left,
and
Joseph.
pick your salad. I mean, when it's fresh like that, you can build your salad right before
Bye,
dinner.
Joe.
Just,
Bye, Joe.
you know.
We have
Bye
see you
bye.
next week.
Okay, take care.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie Odell at Achieve Radio's Tarot Joy. Come on upstairs. Grab yourself a tapestried pillow and get a down-home, honest reading with 30 years Master Tarot channeling experience. In addition, I will have a weekly spiritual guest from around the world. That's 2 readings per call for you. After the show, I invite you to come